everybody, it's Hannah here with another video, and of course, of a spooky time the next day. And it's a little chilly, so that's why I'm wearing a little sweater today. And I'm going to be reading off 10 Southern ghost stories guarded to make you shudder. The Bell Witch. I'm starting. So, the Bell Witched Adams TN. Perhaps one of the most noticeable ghosts in the world, Tennessee's Bell Witch legends has been around over 200 years. In the early 1800s, John Bell moved his family to northern western Tennessee Red River settlement. A few years later, Bell encountered strange animals sitting in the middle of his cornfield. The animal had the body of a dog and the head of a rabbit. And when Bell attempted to kill the creepy creature, it ran away. The family soon before began hearing mysterious knocking, rattling, chains, faint whispering, and even dog fights in the end of nights. For years, the Bell family kept their troubles a secret. Finally, John Bell shared his family trouble with his neighbors, and soon the entire region had heard the Bell's witch. After years of torment, John Bell has mysteriously poisoned, and the spirit visits became far less frequent. A number of theories attempt to explain the witch presence, blaming a series of women, include Betsy Bell herself, but some local folks still insist that strange things had happened around Red River settlement and blame the Bell Witch. The ghost Lavina Fisher, Charleston, Tennessee. Many myths surrounded the legend of Lavina Fisher, a 19th century Charleston's woman convicted for highway robbery and hung just off Meeting Street. Some claim she was America's first female serial killer, based on special that she came and her husband were lure travelers to their split poison of their tea, steal their belongings, and carry their bodies back. However, her and her husband actually belonged to a band of highway thieves and was never accused of serial murder. Still, the details surrounding her death are chilling. Believing that she would be barred, but up till the moment she was hung. Lavina, according to legend, used her breath to scream. If you have a message you want to send to hell, give it to me, and I'll carry it. Her ghost still haunts the old Charleston's jail house. The tourists still claims sights of her ghostly appearance. Ghost of Lawchery Mansion, New Orleans, Louisiana. To this day, Delphi Lawlory Exavant Pearl Massive in New Orleans French Quarter in the city, most legends haunted house due to the gruesome torture that occurred over 200 years ago. Dr. Lewis Lowry's and wife, Delphi, were once known to be one of the society's most frequently high society couples. However, Delphi soon gained a restriction for being brutally cruel to her survivors, and neighbors began noticing the unexplained disappearance of bipolar maids and stabbing boys. One night, after a fire broke out in the kitchen, firefighters discovered a chilling secret room full of tortured servants. Word spread through New Orleans, and angry citizens formed a mob dead set on every of the torture humans. The Lowry managed to escape to France, and haunted souls began seeking revenge on the building occupants immediately. The homes fell to ruin. No one wants to live in a house haunted by tortured souls. Next one. Hagen Molly. While this story may not make you shudder, you should still be glad you didn't grow up around this variety of ghosts. You are familiar with Abbeville, Alabama. You probably heard of Hagen Molly. After all, her name was written on town's welcome sign. The legend of Hagen's Molly traced all the way back of Ireland, but today she roams the streets of Abbeville wearing a large shrug. Hagen Molly appears only to young people out in the past. Her curfew. She runs up to these rules breakers, gives them a giant hug, and screams in their ear. For over 100 years, parents had been relying on her legend to teach their kids to stay out of the dark. Next one. The ghost of Bella Bridge in Florida. There are many different versions of the story. Nonetheless, of the Bellamy Bridge ghost just might be Florida's most infamous ghostly legends. Bellamy Bridge is an old steel frame bridge that spans the Chilopus River just north of Marina. On dark and foggy nights, Elizabeth Jane Bellamy is said to roam the swamps surrounding the bridge, mourning the loss of love cut short. Elizabeth was only 18 when she died. Days after marrying her husband, local Polacan and planter Samuel C. Bellamy, in the version of her experiment wedding ground caught fire that night of her wedding day. In another contract, Marilla, after her death, her husband, so stricken with grief, eventually committed suicide. Visitors to the Bellamy Bridge claim to have seen fire extending from the bridge, mysterious white lights, and even the ghostly figure of a young woman walking through the fog. The next one, the Red Lady of Huntington. complying with her father's will. Martha's favorite color was red, and she decorated every surface in her dorm room in Pratt's Hall in the serpent's shade. Because she didn't make friends easily, Martha lived alone on campus and was very unhappy. The retreated in her room, living in a solution, and only her left her bed in the middle of the night. One evening, after failing attend class and dinner, Martha found laying on the floor her room dead. This day, generations of Huntington students had claimed to have witnessed Martha's ghost, the Red Lady, roaming around the halls at night, emitting a strange red glow. And there's about 3-4 more after what I'm about to read. The Marith Coles in Louisiana. One of the legendary many spirits haunting the Myrtle Plantation in Franceville, Louisiana. The ghost of Cole may be the most mysterious. According to legend, Clark Woodruff, owner of the agent, was having an affair with Cole, a house servant. Eventually, Woodruff tried off Cole, and Cole's fearing she would be sent back to the fields to work, being eavesdropping on family conversation to see if they spoke of her. Woodruff caught her and cut off her ear as punishment. To hide the scar, she always wore a green scarf. Now no one knows if Cole did what she did next to get back in the family's good grace or as revenge. She slowly poisoned a birthday cake, and Woodruff's wife and 2 children died. Oopsies. Right there. 2 kids and died. The other servant, ashamed at Cole's evil acts, hung her in a nearby tree. While this legend may be purged folklore, a mysterious photograph of a woman's figure lurking in a short shade corner, taken in 1992, has pre-petrified Cole's myth. Next one, Dolly Madison. Dolly Madison's wife of the 4th President of the United States, James Madison, is our country's most beloved First Ladies, unknown for turning the D.C. swamps into a social hub. Dolly endeared everyone with her wit and charm, but she didn't like to be tested. During her time living in the White House, Dolly built a beautiful rose garden. Years later, when Woodrow Wilson occupied the White House, she requested the rose garden to be replaced. Legends has it that the moment workers returned their spades, Dolly's ghost arrived and chased them away. And now that sounds like a realistic story about the Southern woman. And there's one more after the one I'm going to read right now. And I'm going to be reading right now The Ghost of Julia's Ledgar. Legend has it that in the mid 1800s, young Julie Ledgar was visiting Edsko Island. She fell ill with dyslexia and fell into a deep coma. After being pronounced dead, she was buried in her family's crypt. When her brother passed away 15 years later, her family opened a crypt and found her body pressed against the door. Trying to escape thought for dead, she had been alive all along. Throughout the years, the crypt doors would randomly fall open. Eventually, even the chain stone would not remain hanged, and her family members gave up and removed the door entirely. Some locals swore that the scratches on the inside of the crypt were made by Julia, desperately trying to escape being buried alive. Whew. And the last one, Ghost of Wright Square, Savannah, Georgia. Savannah had no shortage ghost stories, and titles of Wright Square ghosts may be the creepiest we've heard. The spooky story begins in 1724 after the man was found lying struggled on his bed. Although the deceased man, William Wise, as known as a slightly shaded, his death still caused quite a stir in his community. Investigators convicted two of his servants, Alice Ray and Richard White, although two attempted to flee. They were eventually caught and sentenced to death. Alice's execution was delayed until she gave birth to her son, James. Although Alice attempted proclaimed announced 8 months later, her face Wright Square gallows. Gallows. A short later, her son died. Legends has it that she haunted pregnant women and mothers with infants, searching for her last baby. Next time you're in Savannah, notice a shortage of Spanish moss in Wright Square. According to folklore, Spanish moss will not grow where innocent blood has been spilled. Whew. Well, I hope you guys like this video. If you do, please like, please subscribe, and feel free to comment any kind of videos you would like me to make for you guys, whether it's a Q&A, challenge, any kind of videos. And I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.